In previous blog posts, we've already talked about how to create the perfect pricing page layout, and we've touched upon the importance of having a clear, strong pricing section on your sales pages. But how do you actually set the price for your product or service? That's what we'll talk about in this video. Hi, I'm Shane from Thrive Themes, and what I found is that there are some common mistakes when it comes to setting prices. And you have to keep in mind that setting the wrong price can actually be ruinous to your business. So let's look at the top pricing mistakes and how to avoid them. Pricing mistake number 1, trying to compete on price. This is probably the most common mistake made, which is simply thinking that, I'm just going to make my product cheaper than other products. I'm going to get a market advantage by offering what other people are offering or other companies are offering, but at a lower price. Now, as consumers, we like low prices. In general, we like a bargain. And I think that's where this idea comes from, thinking, well, lower is better. And I think another factor there is that sometimes we feel guilty about charging a lot for our products or services. Whatever the reasons may be, in most cases, trying to simply have a lower price than competitors is a terrible idea. It will most likely not give you as much of a market advantage as you thought it would, and you will end up in a situation where you might be selling products, you might be getting customers and clients, but you'll be struggling to make any kind of profit. And the smallest hiccup, anything that goes wrong, more refunds than expected, or someone needing more support or something like that, can instantly destroy any profit that you've made. So low prices generally mean that your business is always at risk, and it's a terrible idea. There is one exception to this rule, and that is if you have a systematic or proprietary technological advantage that lets you produce more at a lower price. So basically, if you can say, look, I have a factory here and we use some technology, we use something that our competitors aren't using that makes this factory faster and more efficient and cheaper, and that's how we can undercut prices. That is how it can work. But for most solopreneurs and startups, that is simply not the case. So the general rule is do not compete on price. Mistake number 2 is to set product-focused pricing. What that means is that you set your price by looking at your product and going, I guess this should cost this much. So basically based on a gut feeling. A similar mistake is also just looking at other products in the market and saying, well, other products cost this much, so I should charge about the same. And probably the worst version of this mistake is to base the price on what it costs you to deliver the product. So you go, well, these are my costs of selling 1 unit. I'm going to take that number, add a little bit on top for my profit margin, and that's my price. The common theme here is that you're focused on your product and trying to determine the price based on that. And what you should do instead is focus on the market and focus on your future customers and clients and base the price on that. There are 2 questions you can ask yourself to avoid this mistake. And the first is, how much value does this product bring? So not how much does it cost, but how much value does it deliver? And we can take a look at an example here of 3 fundamentally similar products. These are KPI dashboards. We're going to look at Sife, Gecko Board, and Tableau Online. All of these products basically do the same thing. They let you collect data from various sources and then display and work with that data in graphs and dashboards and so on. The first solution is called Sife. They have a generous free plan, so you can use it for free forever. And if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade for $19 a month to get unlimited everything. The second example is Gecko Board. Here you can get a free trial, but if you want to keep using it, you have to pay at least $25 a month. So that's already more than you pay for Sife. And prices go up to $599 per month. And then finally, Tableau Online. Here, the pricing is different. Here you pay $500 per year per user. So per person who will actually use this data and work with these dashboards, you're going to pay $500 per person. So for most companies, they'll have a team of people accessing this. They'll pay thousands of dollars to get this data. So these are 3 very different ways to price fundamentally similar products. Why is that? These prices are based on the fact that these 3 products are made for 3 totally different segments in a market. They're appealing to different types of clients. They're looking at, well, how much value does this bring to my potential client? And a KPI dashboard brings a little bit of value to a small business or a solopreneur, and it can bring potentially lots of value to an enterprise business. And that's why these prices are different. The second question you can ask to avoid mistake number 2 is, how much can the market bear? So how much did the people or the companies I'm selling this to, how much can they afford? Like, how much is too much for them? And this is a good question to ask because it gets you out of this it has to be as cheap as possible thinking. And instead of anchoring your pricing at how cheap can I make it, or how much does it cost me, what's like the minimum I can charge for this, you can anchor your price by what's the maximum I can possibly charge for this. And it's good to have both of these numbers in mind when you set your price. And finally, pricing mistake number 3 is not giving people the opportunity to give you more money even when they want to. For this, we can look at the Sife example again. Here, if I start using this product and I really love it, I upgrade, it costs me $19 a month, and even if I have a lot of data and a lot of dashboards and a lot of users, and even if I love this service and I'd like to get more, I can't. The $19 a month is the most I can spend on this, and I cannot get anything beyond that. That's not a great situation for the business side of Sife. So if we look at Gecko Board again, here I can get in at a relatively low price. Most people probably upgrade to the 149 tier. And even here, if I want more dashboards, I can get them for a bit of extra money. And some super hardcore users, probably not many, right? But some users will go, okay, we're all in. We have a huge team, tons of data, tons of dashboards. We're going to pay $600 a month for this. If you're thinking $600 a month for basically a dashboard with data, that seems ridiculous. That is good, because basically your pricing should be such that your highest priced offer should be a little bit ridiculous. It should feel like it's too expensive. That's a good sign. So the solution to problem number 3 is, first of all, have more than one price tier, have more than one package or bundle or thing that you offer, because some people will want more and will be happy to pay more. Even if you're selling something like, let's say, an ebook, if it's a good ebook and let's say 1,000 people buy it, I guarantee you about 100 out of those 1,000 people will love it. They will be super fans and they will want more. They will happily pay for maybe private coaching with you at a higher price, or even just they'll buy an upgrade so they get the ebook and the audiobook version for a bit more money so they can listen to it while they drive. So that's another way of thinking about this, is make a price for your regular user and then make a bundle, a package, a deal for your super fans who want more and would like to give you more money. So those are the top 3 pricing mistakes, and if you avoid all 3, you'll already end up at a price that is much better for your business and gives you a much better chance of succeeding. In the blog post that you can find below this video, we've compiled some more information for you, including 2 bonus mistakes and how to avoid those, as well as further resources that will help you set the right and most profitable price for your product or service. So let us know what you think of the strategies shown in this video, and if you have any other questions about pricing your product or service, please leave a comment below.